The Convention on the Rights of the Child in Article 7 recognizes the right of every child to be registered immediately after birth. And this is really the way, birth registration is the way that states first recognize the existence of a child in law. It is the only provision in the Convention on the Rights of the Child that includes the word immediately. So it clearly highlights the importance of getting this right from the very start. It is the way, birth registration is the way states recognize in law the existence of a child. And if that doesn't take place, children are effectively invisible and unprotected in the eyes of the state. And furthermore, they cannot access the whole range of services they need for their protection and to enjoy their rights, because birth registration and proof of legal identity, i.e. through a birth certificate, is required, is often a prerequisite to access services. Furthermore, if children don't have a birth certificate and are not registered, they may end up becoming stateless. This is because the information that is contained in the birth certificate is the information that then establishes which nationality laws apply, and therefore which nationality the child can or cannot obtain. So it is extremely important. And the third reason why it's so fundamental is that birth registration enables civil registrars to gather vital statistics. This is so fundamental. If you don't collect information about, if you don't register children, you don't know how many children you have in your country. You don't know who they are, where they are. And if you don't have that information as a state, you cannot plan accordingly, you cannot budget accordingly, and you cannot allocate sufficient resources to children and their needs and for them to enjoy their rights. And you certainly cannot develop appropriate policies and laws that will ensure that all the rights of all children are protected without discrimination. And it is this registration of the birth that establishes the legal identity of a child. And then this fact, followed by the issuance of a birth certificate, which is proof of legal identity, is extremely important for children, because it really is the way for a state to recognize that child. Legal identity per se is not defined in any international standard. So the UN as a whole, through the UN Legal Identity Agenda, decided to develop a comprehensive definition of legal identity. We have the SDG goal 16.9 that calls on states to achieve by 2030 legal identity for all, including birth registration, but which did not define what legal identity is. Now, I'm happy to say that after comprehensive negotiations, the UN defined legal identity, and that definition has now been adopted, endorsed by states in an ECOSOC resolution. And it clearly states that legal identity should be established immediately after birth. It should follow the life cycle approach from birth to death. Death certificates are also important, and that it should be embedded in the civil registration system of a country. And it is very important that it is the civil registrar that registers a person's legal identity immediately after birth, so that the state knows that this person exists, that the child exists, and that they can enjoy their rights, and that they can access services, much needed services, It's also very important for states to establish the legal identity of a person and their existence so that they can gather vital statistics. And these vital statistics are then used to inform policy, planning, budgeting, etc. So they're also very important for ensuring that everybody can enjoy their rights and that the development goals that countries have committed themselves to achieve can actually be achieved.